Santa. One Christmas morning at the North Pole, Santa Claus looked in the mirror and said, "The chimney seems smaller this year. I must be getting fatter. My clothes are old-fashioned, and my ho-ho-ho is so boring. My New Year's resolution is to become a new, improved Santa." Mrs. Claus shook her head and settled into her rocker to read. "Yes, dear," she murmured. In January, Santa Claus went on a diet. He ate salads. He ate bran. He snacked on carrot sticks and rice cakes and tofu. "Look at me now, a new, improved, slimmer Santa," he said. "Almost skinny," Mrs. Claus said with a twinkle in her eye. She edged toward the kitchen to throw away her stash of leftover Christmas cookies. In February, Santa Claus exercised. He jumping jacked, he jogged, he did sit-ups and stretches and toe touches. Well, knee touches. look at me now, a new, improved, stronger Santa," he said. "Most impressive," Mrs. Claus said. She tossed his weights on top of his basket of blocks she was carrying. "I'll put these away for you in the workshop." In March, Santa Claus changed his hair. He first dyed it red, then he dyed it black. He cut it off, spiked it, and sprayed it. look at me now, a new, improved, younger-looking Santa," he said. "Trend-setting," Mrs. Claus said, trying not to giggle as she brushed wisps of multicolored hair from his shoulder. In April, Santa Claus changed his suit. He tried bell-bottoms, he tried leather, he tried western. "Behold, a new, improved, stylish Santa," he said. "Definitely dapper," Mrs. Claus said, squinting her eyes as she straightened his fish-shaped fuchsia tie. In May, June, and July, Santa Claus changed his glasses, hat, and boots. In August, Santa's ho-ho-ho turned into booming shouts of "Yo, man," and "cool," and "rad." "Maybe these will help," Mrs. Claus said, chuckling as she passed out earmuffs to all the elves. In September, the children's letters started pouring in. "A new, improved Santa uses technology," Santa Claus said as he set up a computer. He copied letters, he logged lists, he typed and sorted and saved. Please notice, I'm a new, improved cyber Santa," he said, just before his computer crashed. "Oh dear," said Mrs. Claus. "Don't worry," said Mrs. Claus. She went to the closet and opened the door. "I saved all the letters the old-fashioned way, in boxes." In October, Santa Claus put the sleigh into storage. He tested a helicopter. He tested a truck. He tried a motorcycle and snowmobile and plane. He pulled up in front of the house and called Mrs. Claus to come look. "See my new wheels." "Truly innovative," Mrs. Claus said. She went to the barn to reassure the reindeer by shining up the old sleigh. The day of the first November holiday parade, Santa Claus spiked his black hair. He waxed his red mustache and braided his beard. He put on his new psychedelic shirt, his skinny plaid suit, and his high-heeled cowboy boots. Then he climbed into his roaring red rocket copter and... With a wave of his cowboy hat, he was off. "Introducing the new me," Santa Claus called as he flew away to show off a new, improved Santa to the children. But the children didn't smile or cheer. Some frowned, some pouted. And one little girl burst into tears and cried out, "Where's the real Santa?" Most just stared, disappointed, dismayed, and downright unhappy. A rejected, dejected Santa returned to the North Pole. "The children don't like the new, improved me," he said. Mrs. Claus closed her book. "Then we'd better get to work," she said, handing Santa Claus an eggnog power smoothie. They re-whitened his hair, beard, and mustache. They unpacked his old clothes and boots. They hustled and bustled and scrambled and scurried to change new Santa back to the old Santa by Christmas. On Christmas Eve, Santa Claus climbed into his old-fashioned sleigh, dressed his old-fashioned way. "Look at you now," Mrs. Claus said as she kissed him goodbye, "a new, improved Santa." But I'm not new and improved, Santa said. I'm the same old Santa. Oh, no, you're not, Mrs. Claus said with a smile. You're smarter. The end. The next book I'm going to read is A Silly Snowy Day by Michael Coleman. Ho hum, yawned Mr. Tortoise. Winter is here. So it is, yawned Mrs. Tortoise. Come on, Shelley, time for bed. But I don't feel sleepy yet, said Shelley. Ridiculous, cried Mr. Tortoise. All tortoises go to sleep for the winter. Why? Asked Shelley. Because it's cold outside, and there's no food. But I don't want to go to sleep, said Shelley. I want to see what winter is like. Ridiculous, cried Mr. and Mrs. Tortoise together. Whoever heard of a tortoise outside in the winter? Soon Mr. Tortoise began to snore, and not long after that, Mrs. Tortoise began to snore. And not long after that, Shelley left her warm bed of leaves, and out she went through a hole in the shed to see what winter was like. Outside the shed, Shelley blinked. There was snow and ice everywhere, even on the duck pond and the hill. As she lumbered along, a duck spotted her. A tortoise out in the winter? Quacked the duck. Ridiculous. No, it isn't, said Shelley. Oh, no? Then let's see you break through the ice to get the food like I can. He's right, thought Shelley. I can't do that. I don't have a beak. As Shelley began to walk up the hill, she met a dog. A tortoise out in the winter? Barked the dog. Ridiculous. No, it isn't, said Shelley, feeling a little cross. Oh, no? Then let's see you keep warm by running around like I can. He's right, thought Shelley sadly. I can't do that either. The dog ran off after a cat, but the cat climbed up a tree. She looked down at Shelley. A tortoise out in the winter? Meowed the cat. Ridiculous. No, it isn't, said Shelley, even more crossly. Oh, no? Then let's see you run into a nice warm house as quickly as I can. Meow. She's right, thought Shelley, shivering with cold. I can't run like a dog or a cat. I'm just too slow. The cat raced off into her house before the dog could catch her, and Shelley trudged toward the top of the hill where she met a bird. A tortoise out in the winter? Cheeped the bird. Ridiculous. No, it isn't, snapped Shelley. Oh, no? Then let's see you fly home and cuddle up with your family like I can. Of course I can't fly, thought Shelley. I can't even hop. Shelley felt cold and miserable. She remembered her warm, cozy bed, and a tear trickled down her cheek. They're all right, she thought. A tortoise out in the winter is ridiculous. She was so sad she didn't notice the big patch of ice ahead, and she slipped on it. Shelley fell over backward and began to slide down the hill. Faster and faster she went. Faster than a dog could run, faster than a cat, until suddenly she hit a bump and flew into the air like a bird. Whee! With a thump, Shelley landed on the ice duck pond and slid through the hole in the shed. But it was all covered up with ice. What did I say? Cried the duck as she slid by him. Where's your beak to break the ice with? I don't have a beak, thought Shelley, but I do have... a shell. And tucking her head inside it, she broke through the ice into the shed and home. Hearing all the noise, Mrs. Tortoise woke up. You haven't been outside, have you, Shelley? She asked. A tortoise out in the winter, said Shelley, snuggling into bed, and before she could say ridiculous, she was fast asleep. The end.